Well, well, where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Oh, Paul here. Pardon me, I had phlegm. First time I've ever said that, living in another state of what used to be the United States of the Americas. So where am I coming from? What FEMA region am I now residing? Well, I'll just start. I'd start again. Paul here, coming to you from FEMA region number 4. I am in Music City, USA. I am officially a Nashvilleian. Is that a term? I don't know. Tennessean, Southerner. Well, all I know is that, you see this dresser? This is from the Parents O'Herb. It's the only piece of furniture, well, virtually, the other way, the other dresser from Herb, from his parents' house, from his home. I have 2 pieces of furniture and a bed. I guess a bed is a piece of furniture. But I do have a bed. Probably the only thing I really own is that bed. As I have said many, many times over the course of these 55 years, I don't own much, but I've never been in debt. But I thank you all for your prayers. Prayers for safe travel. I've already been sent an email, a very, very special email from a very, very special person who has told me to how to contact some friends that they, mutual friend, well, not my friends yet, it's their friends, but maybe they'll be my friends, and, you know, maybe they'll have an extra sofa. Now, I'm only kidding. But I think it's going to work out. I think it's going to work out. I'll still need your prayers. I'm always going to need your prayers. I'm always praying for you. You always pray for me. I want to, you know, up here, I have some of my most favorite things in the world that I've brought with me. Laban's here. They've all come along. Laban and Shirley and Fritzy.
For Pete's sake, when are you going to get some food in this joint?
Give me a minute.
How about some veal?
Can you give me a minute? I'm talking to the folks.
I'm going down straight, see how much veal is here.
They all come here. All right. This video is going to be very special. It's the first time I've ever said, you know, living. I've been in FEMA Region 4 before. down Florida way for a bit. I did a few videos there, as you may be familiar with, possibly. But I've always wanted to share some of the things that I have sitting up on this dresser with y'all. I can say, there you go, y'all. And that's how I say, I say y'all. And that's science. Getting right into it. I'm going to do that. I'm going to share some things over here with y'all. And then I'm going to show you a few things, not that have anything to do with Bible prophecy. I'm going to share with you some things that I really would love you to see. Some things that I know that you would enjoy. And plus I'm going to share with you those that I've been listening to on a regular basis now. I have truly weeded out my subscriptions. I'm going to share with you who I consistently follow on the old YouTube as I start this whole new chapter in the life of the little Polish actor from Baltimore. Gonna need your prayers, as I said, but we'll get into that later, you know, and talk about, you know, it's like, it's just, I'm echoing. You can hear the echo because I don't have anything in here yet. I've never really decorated my own place. When I got married many years ago, she had all the furniture already, so we just used that. I lived at my parents' most of the time. I went to live with my beautiful earthly angels, Bobby, Bill, Jesse, and Andrew, and their home was furnished. This really is the first time that I've ever had an opportunity to build a place of my own. I really don't know what to do. A lot of my pictures and such, which Herb will be forwarding them eventually. I don't have any of my pictures really with me because we left very quickly. I've been cooking already though. I brought some of my most favorite pots and pans and some of the great kitchen implements. Oh, the phone! Well, give me a minute. I'll be right back. Please. I shouldn't have answered it. It's about how to pay for my student loan. I didn't go to college. I avoided it. I tell everyone to this day to avoid college. I've always wanted to, and I hope I don't offend anyone out there. You know, it's really, well, it all depends on the circumstances and the person. I've always wanted to start a club, and whoever had more than a bachelor's degree couldn't join. And I only say that because it just seems like in so many instances, people spend so much time in a classroom that they, you know, as my maternal grandfather used to say, you know, they couldn't get their way out of a paper bag, you know, or something like that. I don't know. Or he used to say, you know, they got two brains. One's the size of a BB and the other's real little. And what he meant is that, you know, they just never lived. They just studied or, you know, listened to teachers all the time. Never, I don't know. I'm probably putting myself into a corner here now with all that, but I'm going to, gosh, I hate this thing. I really do. All right, I'm going to show you some of the things I have here on this dresser. There, oh, Happy Grits, the Grits of Kings. Years ago, my partner Herb and I and several other extremely funny females had a comedy troupe. It was called Contents Under Pressure, and we did a routine called the Happy Grits, the Grits of Kings. How they go and they say, hey, grits is it. Have good grits and you'll have good wits. Hey, grits is great. Share 'em with your lover, share 'em with your mate. Happy grits, hip and erotic. Happy grits, make the condor sing. Happy grits, put it in your lunch. Happy grits, the Grits and Kings. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I did a video where I actually shared this piece with you. I'll put the link up. You got to go back and see that this is a very, very important item in my life. Yeah. Okay, that's that. I'll put the link to that because you got to see it. This is a maraca. I did that in a show once. With Herb, of course, we were touring with a children's theater troupe, and I used this, and he pointed out during the show that I was not Xavier Cugat. In the state of the public school system, the children probably knew more about who Xavier Cugat was than the teachers. It's another very important item. I've had these bongos since I was in elementary school. These were featured in a very important sketch that I wrote many years ago, along with her, called Beatniks en Masse. I think there's a picture. That goes back to 1986. And these bongos, oh my. See, it's hard to, I really would love to have, a professional set, with the congas and everything like that. Oh, but maybe one day. I actually played, I'm going to have to get, I think I got to find the pictures. I think I have them. I played a set of congas in a Cajun restaurant when I came to Nashville last March with Herb. A set of congos that had been just previously tuned by none other than Ray Cooper. Here he is. If you don't know who Ray Cooper is, well, one of the greatest percussionists of all time. He's toured with all of the biggies, Elton John, all of them. Mainly Elton John. He's Elton John's great friend and percussionist. And I had the privilege of actually playing those congas in this restaurant last March. Now, here we are. Speaking of musical instruments, I have my Yamaha recorder. I've had this for quite a while now. I bought this at a music store in Baltimore called Ted's. If you're from Baltimore, and you're a musician, you know all about Ted's. Let's see what we got here. I think I made that up years and years ago. But I love a recorder. I love a recorder. These. These are the Spangly Underpants. Years ago, I walked into a prop room, and there was a man there. His name was Cliff. We can't go into Cliff right now. That would take a very long time. But he was a director, and he was going through props in the prop room, and he wanted to throw things away. And I walked in and I said, Cliff, oh, Cliff, is there anything in here that I can have that you want to give her? And he threw these at me. These, whatever really they, Spangly Underpants is what I dubbed them, as well as Herb. And he threw these at me and he said, here, use these. And I said, you know what, Cliff? I'm gonna. And I have, actually. Uncle Mel, Zeus Mossbender's Uncle Mel borrowed these for a production of a very strange Eugene O'Neill musical. It really wasn't a music, it was based on, a musical based on Eugene O'Neill's Long Day's Journey into Night. It ran for 15 minutes. But these are the Spangly Underpants.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Okay. Got a few things in here, too. Let's see. Oh, I got some gum. My first little harmonica. Yeah. This 17. That is the introduction to a song called Apple Scruffs. written and performed by one George Harrison. George Harrison, if you don't know who that is, he was in a band called the Beatles. Okay, let's see here. Oh my goodness, look at what I have. This is my, look at there, my Colony of Mercy badge. Last but not least, there's this. It's a log. This log changed my life. I was in the company of my father and my brother-in-law many years ago. We were going to go fishing. I can't believe I've never told this story before on the Zeus Mossbender channel. But many years ago, we went up fishing. And this, of course, was in FEMA Region Number 3, not far from Baltimore. And we went to a bait shop. I actually have a picture of the outside of the bait shop. There we are. It was called Heirlooms. And we went in. And my father, he asked the proprietor, who was a woman standing there, and he said, we would like to have some bloodworms. However, before he could even finish the sentence, you know, the request for these bloodworms, she began to say very quickly, we have live Gresham, they're very live Gresham, very live Gresham, they're very live Gresham. And at the very, we tried to butt in, but then all of a sudden her husband popped up, very live Gresham, very live Gresham, very live Gresham. And my brother-in-law and my dad and I, we just kind of went, and we eventually got the bloodworms and went fishing, but all day long, all we could do was crack up laughing. Very live Gresham, very live Gresham, very live. I called a friend of mine that evening. His name was Paul. We used to perform together before I began working with Herb, even though I had known Herb much previously to the time that we actually worked as partners in entertainment. And I called my friend Paul, and we used to go by Paul and Paul. Very original, right? And I said, look, I just encountered these folks, and we did a routine, not actually based on them, but it was just the inspiration. And we did a routine based on the hilariousness of that moment many years ago. So, and the log had a lot to do with that. You can go back. I'll show you or I'll put a link to a video, one of the Zeus on the Loose videos that featured this log, actually. A very strange thing. I think you ought to check that out when you have a moment. But here I am in, oh my goodness, I almost forgot a couple of things. Speaking of Keswick and my Colony of Mercy brothers, this was, I believe, Jonathan. Oh, Jonathan, look what I found in my laundry. 18L. That was Jonathan's designation. Room 18, bed L. I was 18R, and my great brother Joel, I believe, was 18U. But I have one of Jonathan's tags. And we had to put these on our clothing when we sent it to the laundry. So there we are. And there's something else that I received while I was at Keswick. This wonderful hand-drawn, hand-painted picture of an owl. Oh, my sister, you know who you are that sent this to me, because I had wrote unto her how my mom loved owls. Yeah, this has been with me everywhere I go since I received it. But that's the, oh gosh, I have some Bibles up here. I'll show you. I have 3 Bibles up here. This one was my dad's. This one was my mom's. You can see, look, she's got a little owl on the, so there you go. My dad's Bible, my mom's Bible, one an old King James, one a new King James, and a Bible that I've been using lately because it's just this Bible is just so Bible-esque. It's compact, it has a great feel to it, and it was a Bible that has been given unto me by none other than Herb. It's a revised standard version, a Nelson, and I love it. I think it's great. I really do. I've been using it. The videos that I've made over the past 2 months were at the house of Herb, and I pretty much used this Bible just because I love it. And there we go. I just bought a Yankee candle. I have the crisp fall night candle burning here. But now I'd like to take this opportunity and show you some things, tell you about some things that I've enjoyed just as a person, you know, or whatever it is we are. Enjoy. I hope you enjoy this.
First off, my brothers and my sisters, please allow me to apologize for the lighting. See, I don't have a lamp yet here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm on a furniture hunt. So, well, there we are. But I would also like to apologize for the continuing echo. As, well, there's just nothing in here yet. But even so, let's get on with it. As I pointed out before, I have eradicated from my subscriptions many. The men that you see before you, oh no, they have by no means been such. The men that you see before you are what I consider to be stalwarts, indispensable. That's right, indispensable within a community focused basically on one thing, regardless of certain disagreements which stem from doctrinal issues that will be argued and debated until we hear the trump of God. These men long to hear nothing more than that very trump. These men, in my opinion, express best what we all long for and have been longing for years and years and years. The process of understanding and for the preparation of our blessed hope, which is the catching away of the body of Christ before, that's right, before the onset of what should, from this point on, be referred to not as the tribulation, but as Daniel's 70th week. Brothers and sisters, for quite a long time now, I have been waiting for the proper way to express my heart on what I'm about to. But Abba's timing is not ours, and praise him for that. I see these great men of God as representative of three, mind you, and no coincidence, 3 sensibilities with regard to how we interpret the scriptures dealing with the rapture of the body of Christ. Now, you might differ greatly with my opinion here, but this is what I have heard from that still small voice. Take it or leave it, but here it is from me, little Shaul, Paul, or whoever it is that I am. I see Pastor JD as the heart. I see Scott Clark as the brain. And I see old Pastor Lawson as the kidneys, or as we might say today, the gut. I think that most of you who are familiar with my channel know exactly what I'm saying here. If you don't, watch and listen to the words of these men. I told you that I would say who I've been listening to, and well, there they are. Now don't get me wrong, oh please do not. I am certainly not intimating that Pastor JD has no brains or that Scotty is heartless, and so forth. You understand what I'm saying here. For me personally, Pastor JD can bring me to tears. You know, all I have to do is watch his eyes and see the longing in them for our blessed hope. And even though I know Scott longs to get out of here just as much, I have learned more about doctrine by listening and studying with him. Now, Pastor Lawson, I love his no-nonsense, get-you-where-it digs, you know, in the marrow of the bone. That's what I get when I listen to Pastor Lawson. His wisdom and knowledge is unmatchable as well. So I don't know about you, but these are my three wise men. I do want to give you two others that I would consider honorable mention. One, a true man of Elohim, and one, oh yes, an atheist. The man of Elohim, this man, Mr. John Howler. A true and faithful watchman, and in my opinion, the best expositor on apostasy in the current denominational landscape, or whatever is referred to in the world or by the world as the church. The other, the atheist, Mr. Ben Davidson of the Suspicious Observers channel, a channel that I have been watching since before the onset of this, the Zeus Mossbender channel. Ben Davidson's Suspicious Observers channel is the penultimate source, the most reliable secular opinion with regard to all things scientific. Why, Paul? Why, oh, why, Paul? Are you endorsing this atheist? Well, as I have said, yes, he is an atheist. Beyond degree, at that. And of course, we well know what the psalmist, King David, said, and Pastor Lawson actually pointed this out in one of his more recent sermons. The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. But you know what? Let me tell you what, when it comes to scientific reports, he don't lie and he don't exaggerate. And that's why I endorse him. When Mr. Ben says it's no big deal, it isn't. That is why I listen when he says it is. Here's an example.
Good morning, folks. Whatever deity or luck or chance you live by, thank it. A solar kill shot just left the far side of the sun, and it is as scary looking as it is thankfully aimed far away from our planet. The eruption was titanic, and as I mentioned, luckily not coming this way.
Look at what he said. Good morning, folks. Whatever deity or luck or chance you live by, thank it. And you know what? Let me tell you what. He meant that. Like I said, Ben, and I pray that his eyes be opened by our Elohim, does not exaggerate. And when he says something big has happened, he means it. And he will also tell you when not to take it so seriously, the way other media will lead you on to do. And vice versa, of course. If you'd like to see this entire video, I will leave a link down below in the Show More section. Now, as you noticed, I hope, I pointed out that Ben does not exaggerate stories and such. And so I would recommend that you watch these videos, and this will kind of give you an idea of what I'm getting at with respect to that. I will leave links down below. Just click on Show More, and there they be. And now for something completely, well, this. Brothers and sisters, this is Max Wall, and I will stake my spangly underpants that unless you are of a certain age and from the United Kingdom, most of you probably have never seen or heard of this man. I sure didn't until around December of the year 2018, and so you see how recently it is that I discovered this person. I mentioned before that I was going to share with y'all some things that I enjoy watching, and well, from the looks of this, you probably are not surprised that this is the sort of thing that I enjoy. And that's it. It cuts off right there. There is very little footage, no pun intended, really, of Max. But there are a few other short clips of him. I'll leave links below. But I can personally glorify God through this man. Actually, and it is quite ironic, as I am pretty certain that none of the men that I'm about to show you are born-again believers, I can actually glorify God, though, through these men known as Monty Python's Flying Circus, who, save for only the Marx Brothers and the Goons, who included Peter Sellers, Spike Milligan, and Harry Seacombe, who is a born-again, or was a born-again Christian. No, he still is. We'll see him again. These groups right here, they're the greatest and most influential comedy outfits of all human history. Of course, this is my opinion, but it is through this man right here, in particular, John Cleese, who is also the progenitor of one of the funniest TV series in all of history, Fawlty Towers. You gotta see it. I think it's on Netflix right now. It was through Mr. Cleese that I discovered Max Wall, and in turn rediscovered an entity that I have been longing to rediscover for many, many years. As you all well know, for most of my life, I have worked as a comedian, and as a child, studied the greats, Groucho Marx, Peter Sellers, Jonathan Winters, and the like. However, the men that I just mentioned are all pretty well known, whereas men like Max Wall here, well, he is not. Over the past several years, a comedian I remember seeing on all the great variety shows of the late 60s and throughout the 1970s, this is the time during which I was a child, this man had been on my mind quite a bit. I could remember exactly what he looked like, but for the life of me could not remember his name. The man's act was remarkable, and I would, again, bet those spangly underpants that no one could even recreate what he did without literal years of practice. Friends, I tried everything, Googled every keyword I could think of to find old footage of this amazing comedian, and finally began to pray on my hands and knees to Elohim to help me find this man. Well, years went by, but ABBA came through, as he always does. And he used this man who told me about this man to answer my long-held prayer. Whilst watching this clip of Max Wall, I glanced over here at the suggested videos, and lo and behold, I saw him. George Carl, the comedian I'd been longing to find and relive a true childhood joy. ABBA answered my prayer, and I glorify him. I glorify him. Now, my brothers and sisters, may I present George Carl.
2, 7, 14. I hope you enjoyed what I showed you there. Some of those things, George Carl. Oh, what a gift. What a gift from Elohim this past Christmas for moi, in the fact that I rediscovered something that I had searched out for many years. George Carl. Watch, that's a lost art, like I was saying. But I hope you enjoyed everything that I showed you and what we talked about. I just want to ask you again for your prayers that I'll be able to kind of alleviate the echo and get this place filled up with some things. I really, like I said, I've never decorated my own place before. If you got any suggestions, I don't know. I just, well, here I am. Pray that I can build a little place, a little nest, while I occupy until he comes. I'll need your prayers, and I just need you because you're my family. I pray that I'll be able to meet some nice people here, some friends. I'm pretty much, Herb's gone back to FEMA Region 3, so I'm pretty much on my own here. Well, you know what I mean. I have a dear sister that doesn't live too far away. You know who you are. You surely do. Hopefully we would be able to soon break bread together in person. That would be a great blessing. And there's others here in Tennessee that I know, and I'm hoping that maybe, contact me. You know who you are, and if I'm, I'll put a mailing address down below, and, well, there we are. I guess it's time to pray. My first official prayer here in Nashville, Tennessee. Oh, Abba, Father, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you so much that you've given me a new start, per se, a new way to occupy until you send your Son, our Yeshua, who's coming in the clouds for us. This is a new start for me, Father, and I just pray that you prosper it. I pray that you will provide, which I do not doubt. Oh, my goodness, you have never, ever, ever let me down in any way. And that is, even to say that would be, but you know what I mean. Oh, Father, be with my brothers and sisters. Be with my biological sister and her family as we're separated for this period of time until I can visit back in FEMA Region number 3. Be with all of those that I've left. And keep us close in you. Keep us close in you, if not in location. Oh, Father, as I pray, help me to make this work. I just ask all of this and pray all of this in the precious name of your Son, Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, who is coming soon, very, very soon. We say Amen, Amen. And the first time from Tennessee, zip, zip, whip, now you be warm.